I was trying to think of something that would be both timely and timeless without sounding pretentious here. And so I wanted to talk about the inspiration of limitation. And of course, the top of mind here is the pandemic. And what I think has been interesting, of course, is that the pandemic has limited us in so many ways. And yet on the other side of the equation, we've seen so many creative pivots and new ideas and new business models. And so in this world of oxymoronic thinking, hopefully curious and quirky, I wanted to just mention a couple of these examples. They may or may not have been related to the pandemic. But the first one I'm going to call out, of course, is what's the hottest new sort of social media sharing site? Well, it's Clubhouse, right? Well, what is the inspiration of limitation with Clubhouse? Well, we don't have the video, unlike Zoom. And so here's become this huge thing that now represents in some ways the theater of the mind. And because they've limited the actual video component and only have audio. If you want another one from the world of sharing technology here, of course, the most famous one is what? It's Twitter, right? We're limited to 280 characters, all right? And it's so funny and interesting when you put this sort of mental creative filter in your brain, you find that you begin to see this all over the world, right? And I was actually, my wife subscribes to the New York Times, and we were playing the spelling bee New York Times word puzzle. And of course, what is that based on? That's based on having only a certain number of letters that you have to create something with, right? And that's true of Scrabble and many word games, actually. For those of you entrepreneurs out there and startups and those who are funding startups, it occurs to me that there is inspiration and limitation in that I have actually seen and worked with 3 different startups where they actually had too much money, right? They get all these beautiful offices and all these wonderful things, and they frankly wasted money. And when startups, because resources are limited, they have to be overly creative. So there's an inspiration of being limited there. I'm thinking of a food company, an innovation company, a network company. All of these I've worked with, and they frankly suffered from having too much money. And the last 2 things I want to talk about is in my world of creativity training and ideation facilitation and qualitative research, we have not unexpectedly gone virtual. And so virtual ideation, we've discovered there's some tremendous advantages of going virtual. One of these, we had a 2-day in-person strategy session plan. And so we broke it up into 4 2.5-hour sessions. And what we discovered, the 2 major things we discovered is, one, we could get anybody we wanted to be part of any of those 4 sessions from around the world. So that was wonderful. So if a guy flies in, for a 2-day event, you're not going to say, I only want you for a quarter of the event, right? So that was one thing, the tremendous amount of subject matter expertise. And the second thing is that we had what? We had soak time between these 4 sessions then to redesign and redirect our thinking and leverage all the ideas that came out of it. I think I'm out of time here. Yes, so we'll talk about sort of the advantages of doing qualitative research focus groups online maybe next time.